So we'll start the new chapter, current electricity, question number 1. So the question goes like, the storage battery of a car has an EMF of 12 volt. If the internal resistance of the battery is 0.4 ohm, what is the maximum current that can be drawn from the battery? So in the question they have given that the EMF of the battery is 12 volt and the internal resistance is 0.4 ohm. They are asking for the maximum current. Now in a battery the current will be maximum, okay, the current drawn will be maximum if the external resistance is 0. Okay, so the connected external resistance, if it is 0, then we can say that the current is maximum. Alright, so you know the formula, epsilon minus IR is equal to V. Yes, so here V will be equal to 0 because R is 0. So therefore epsilon is equal to I into R. So from that equation we can write I max is equal to epsilon by R. So that is nothing but 12 by 0.4. So 12 by 0.4 will be 30 ampere. Okay, this is equal to 30 ampere. So the answer I max equal to 30 ampere will be your answer. Second question, 3.2. It states that a battery of EMF 10 volt and internal resistance 3 ohm. So the EMF is equal to 10 volt and internal resistance is 3 ohm. 3 ohm is connected across a resistor. If the current in the circuit is 0.5 ampere, what is the terminal voltage? So current in the circuit is 0.5 ampere. What is the resistance of the resistor and what is the terminal voltage of the battery when the circuit is closed? So they are asking for capital R and V. So to solve this we know the formula, epsilon minus IR is equal to V. Now what is V? V is equal to capital I into R. So we will substitute this capital I into R. So epsilon is equal to, you can take I common, R plus small r. From this equation all the parameters are given except for R. So you can substitute and find out. So 10 is equal to 0.5 into R plus 3. Alright, so that will be 10 is equal to 0.5 R plus 3 into 0.5. So I will write it as 3 by 2. So I will get 0.5 R is equal to 10 minus 3 by 2. So 20 minus 3 by 2, that is equal to 17 by 2. Okay, and this is also 1 by 2. So no, 0.5 I can write as 1 by 2. So this 2 gets cancelled. So the resistance R, required resistance R is 17 ohm. And if R is 17 ohm, what is V? V is equal to current into resistance. So that is 0.5 into 17, which is equal to half of 17 is 8.5 volt. Question number 3.3 is quite basic. It's given that the three resistors 1 ohm, 2 ohm, 3 ohm are combined in series. What is the total resistance of the combination and what is the, if the combination is connected to a battery of EMF 12 volt and negligible internal resistance, obtain the potential drop across each resistor. So for this question they are asking what is the internal first, what is the equivalent resistance. So R1, R2 and R3. So the equivalent resistance in series combination will be what? R1 plus R2 plus R3. You want me to write the formula? I can write it, no issues. Okay, so in the exam you are expected to write all this. So Rs is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3, that is equal to 6 ohm. Now it is connected to a voltage of 12 volt. Okay, so the total voltage is 12 volt and the total resistance is 6 ohm. So we need to find out what is the total current. So I current is equal to V by R. So V by R, that is 12 by 6, 2 ampere. Therefore, what is V1? V1 will be I into R1. So I is 2 into 1. So 2 volt. V2 is equal to I into R2, that is 2 into 2, which is equal to 4 volt, and V3 is equal to I into R3, that is equal to 2 into 3, 6 volt. So that is the answer. The voltage drop across each resistor and the equivalent resistance RS. Another basic question, 3.4. So 3 resistors R1, R2 and R3 are connected in parallel. What are the values of R1, R2, R3? 2, 4 and 5 ohm. 2 ohm, 4 ohm and 5 ohm are connected in parallel. The voltage is given 20 volt. Alright, so they are asking what is the current through each resistor. So for this you don't have to find anything. If the voltage is 20 volt, directly all the 3 resistors will be connected with 20 volt only. So that is obvious because this is a parallel combination. So the current I1 will be V by R1. So that is equal to 2 by 20. So that is 0.1 ampere. Current I2 will be equal to V by, oh sorry, this is 20 by 2. So that will be 10 ampere. Current I2 is 20 by 4, which is equal to 5 ampere. And current I3 is 20 by 5, which is equal to 4 ampere. So the total current is I1 plus I2 plus I3, which is equal to 19 ampere. Is there anything else asked in the question? Yes, total current and individual current, that's it. So I1 is 10, I2 is 5, I3 is 4 ampere, total current is 19 ampere. The equivalent resistance is also asked. So RP, 1 by RP is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. So 1 by RP is equal to 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 5. So the LCM is 20. So 10 plus 5 plus 4, which is equal to 19 by 20. Therefore, the equivalent resistance is 20 by 19 ohm. That is the answer. So question number 3.5. At room temperature, that is 27 degrees Celsius, the resistance of a heating element is 100 ohm. So the resistance at room temperature is given as 100 ohm. So I can write T1 is equal to 27 degrees Celsius and R1 is equal to 100 ohm. They are saying that what is the temperature of the element if the resistance is found to be 117 ohm, given that the temperature coefficient of the resistor material is 1.70 into 10 power minus 4 degrees Celsius inverse. So T2 temperature we don't know, that is what is asked, and R2 resistance is given as 117 ohm. Alright, and alpha, the temperature coefficient of resistance, is given as 1.70 10 power minus 4 degrees Celsius inverse. Yes, that is it. Alpha is, yes. Okay, now we know the formula. Resistance at a temperature is equal to R naught into 1 plus alpha into T. Okay, here T represents rise in temperature. So if we have two different temperatures, what we can do, we can transform this equation like R2 is equal to R1, R2 is equal to R1 into 1 plus alpha into T2 minus T1. This is the formula. So just to multiply it inside, so R1 plus alpha into R1, T2 minus T1. So what is alpha from this? Alpha into R1 is equal to R2 minus R1 divided by T2 minus T1. So alpha is equal to R2 minus R1 divided by R1 into T2 minus T1. So basically we need to find out T2 here. So we can change the equation later, but we will start with this equation. So alpha is 1.7 into 10 power minus 4 is equal to, what is R2 minus R1? So 117 ohm minus 100 ohm. So that is equal to 17 ohm divided by R1 100 into T2 we don't know minus 27. So if we solve this, what will we get? So 17 and 17. So we can cancel this out 10 times. Okay. And this 10 or 10 power minus 4 can be brought to that side. So it will become 10 power plus 4. Alright. So there you will get 10 power 5. So 100 into T2 minus 2700 is equal to 10 to the power of 5. So 100 into T2 is equal to 10 power 5 plus 2700. So T2 is equal to, what is 10 power 5? 102700 divided by 100. So 100 gets cancelled. So the answer is 1027 degree Celsius. Question number 3.6, again basic question. So first few questions are very simple in this NCERT exercise. That is, length of the conductor is given. A negligibly small current is passed through a wire of length 15 meter or centimeter? Meter, and uniform cross section 6 into 10 power minus 7 meter square. So the cross section area is 6 into 10 power minus 7 meter square. Then its resistance is measured to be 5 ohm. Resistance is measured to be 5 ohm. They are asking what is the resistivity of the material at the temperature of the experiment. So what is the resistivity at a given particular temperature, whichever the experiment was performed as. So we know rho is equal to RA by L. Okay, RA by L. So the just have to substitute and find out the answer. So R is 5 into area 6 into 10 power minus 7 divided by L is 15. 3 times 2 times. So the resistivity is 2 into 10 power minus 7 ohm meter. That's all. Question number 3.7 is basically the same type of finding the temperature coefficient. So it is given that a silver wire has a resistance of 2.1 ohm. Okay, so let me write R1 is equal to 2.1 ohm, and the temperature at which it is 2.1 is 27.5 degrees Celsius. 0.5 degree Celsius, and the resistance of 2.7 ohm is at 100 degree Celsius. They are asking us to find out what is the temperature coefficient of resistivity. So you know alpha is equal to R2 minus R1 divided by R1 into T2 minus T1. Now you should use this formula only if R2 is greater than R1. Okay, so here in our condition R1 is okay, so R2 is greater than R1 only, so no issues. Yeah, so we can use this. So you will be getting 2.7 minus 2.1 divided by R1, that is 2.1 into 100 minus 27.5. So that is equal to 0.6 divided by 2.1 into, so 27 minus that is 72.5. So once you solve this, your answer is 0.00394. Now you can use your logbook to do this. Okay, because manual calculation is not possible. I mean, it will take much time. So definitely you have to use logbook. So please learn how to use the logbook. Okay, so log of 0.6 minus log of, so this whole thing like that. So log of 0.6 minus log of 2.1 plus log of 72.5, and then you will get an answer. For that you have to take the anti-log. So that will be the answer for this question. So you can try it out using the logbook. So that is the answer, 394 degrees Celsius inverse. Next question 3.8. So instead of directly giving the resistance value, they have given the voltage, okay, the heating element using nichrome connected to a 230 volt. So they have directly given the voltage and it draws initial current 3.2 ampere, which settles after a few seconds to a steady value of 2.8 ampere. So initially it is 3.2 ampere and later it goes steady 2.8 ampere. What is the steady temperature of the heating element if the room temperature is 27 degrees Celsius? So this nichrome becomes a steady after some temperature. Okay, so that temperature they are asking. So first voltage is given as 230 volt and the current I1 is 3.2 volt, sorry 3.2 ampere and I2 is 2. What's given? 2.8 ampere. Okay, I2 current is 2.8 ampere. So what will be R1? R1 is equal to V by I1. So that is equal to 230 divided by 3.2 and R2 is equal to V by I2, which is equal to 230 divided by 2.8. So what is the answer for this? You can use your logbook to find. So for the first one it is 71.875. This is 71.875 ohm and here it is 82.143. 82.143 ohm. Alright, now the temperature, the room temperature is given as, T1 temperature is given as 27 degree Celsius. So they are asking us for T2. Okay, and the temperature temperature coefficient is given as 1.70 into 10 power minus 4 degrees Celsius inverse. Alright, so basic equation, so alpha is equal to R2 minus R1 divided by R1 into T2 minus T1. So what is T2 minus T1 from this? T2 minus T1 is equal to R2 minus R1 divided by alpha into R1. So let us just substitute. So what is R2? 82.143 minus 71.875 divided by 1.70 into 10 to the power minus 4 into R1. R1 is this 71.875. Alright, so if you calculate, you are getting, you definitely have to use logbook for this. Okay, so if you use logbook, you will get the answer pretty quickly. So T2 minus T1 is equal to 840.35. 840.35 degree Celsius. So what is T2? T2 is T1 plus this, so that is 27 plus 840.35. So that is equal to 867.35 degree Celsius. So T2 is this. Okay. The next question is 3.9. In this question, it looks like a Wheatstone bridge arrangement. It is a Wheatstone bridge, but it is not balanced. What do I mean by balanced? Balanced means P by Q equal to R by S. That should be, the ratio should be same. Okay, so that is not proper here. That is not balanced. So it is an unbalanced Wheatstone bridge. That means current will be flowing through this resistor also. Current will be flowing in the middle also. Okay, so the way to find out the answer for this is by using the Kirchhoff law. Okay, so we will be taking Kirchhoff law through this loop. Okay, so let us say, I'll name these first of all. So this is A, B, C, D, this is F, this is G. So first let us take in loop A, B, D, A. Okay, so first this loop A, B, D, A. Now the current I here, first it splits as I1 and I2 and then here it splits into BD as I3 and the remaining I1 minus I3 will be flowing in this part and here this I2 current and I3 current together will come as I2 plus I3, and then these I1 minus I2, I1 minus I3, I2 plus I3 together will give me back I. Okay, so what is I? Basically I is I1 plus I2. Okay, so in loop ABDA, so we have I1 into 10, which is along the same direction, so 10 I1. Then here this one is also along the same, whichever direction, which the loop's direction itself. So here you will write plus 5 I3, and then here you are going in the opposite to the current flow. So therefore you will be writing minus 5 I2 is equal to 0. There is no voltage connected here, so that is equal to 0. Next is in loop this one. Okay, so this loop. So in this loop BCDB, BCDB. Alright, so here you have 5 into I1 minus I3 plus, so we will not write plus because this current is in the opposite, so you will be writing minus 10 into I2 plus I3, 10 into I2 plus I3 minus 5 I3. So this one is also taken in the opposite. So minus 5 I3 is equal to 0. So if we simplify this, what equation are we getting? 5 I1 minus 5 I3 minus 5 I3 minus 10 I3. So that will give me minus 20 I3. Okay, and I2 is minus 10 I2. Minus 10 I2 is equal to 0. So let us keep it as it is right now. We will see what to do with it later. So this is equation 1, this is equation 2. Now there are 2 equations but 3 unknowns, so it's not possible to solve. So we will need one more equation. So you will choose the loop, any loop you can choose, your choice. Okay, so in loop A, D, C, F, G, A. Okay, A, D, C, F, G, A. In this loop, you see what you have? You have 5 I2 plus 10 into I2 plus I3, 10 into I2 plus I3. Then you are coming like this, in this direction it's going, isn't it? So like this. This is the direction of the loop. Here I current is flowing on this, in this resistor. So that will be plus 10. Now what is I? I is equal to I1 plus I2. So directly I'll write here I1 plus I2 is equal to, okay, so this is equal to, now in this battery the loop that we are choosing is traveling from minus to plus. Okay, the direction of the loop is from minus to plus, so therefore we will be writing plus 10 volt only. Alright, now you expand this equation, so what will I get? 5 I2 plus 10 I2 plus 10 I2, so 25 I2, 10 I1, okay, and then plus 10 I3. So this is your equal to 10. This is equal to 10. This is your third equation. Now you see these 3 equations. So 10 I1 is there, then 5 I1 is here. So what we will do, using these 2 equations, we will get one equation using I2 and I3, and using these this one and this one more equation we will get using I2 and I3. So then we will solve for I2 and I3. So you just subtract these 2 equations. So I minus I3, sorry, 1 minus 3. Okay, so let me check this one. 5 I3 minus 5 I2. Yes, it's correct. Okay, so you just interchange and write. I'll just interchange and write this. So minus 5 I2 plus 5 I3. Okay, yes. Now you have to subtract 1 minus 3. Alright, so what will you get? Minus here, minus here. So minus 5 I2 minus 25 I2. So that will be minus 30 I2. Then here this minus this. So that will be minus 5 I3 is equal to minus 10. Alright, so let us keep this equation as number 4. Now you multiply this equation by 2. and then you subtract with this. Okay, so 2 times of this equation will be, should I write it here? Okay, so second equation multiplied by 2 is 10I1 minus 20I2 minus 40I3 equal to 0, and then you write down this equation, third equation. So that is 10I1 plus 25I2 plus 10I3 is equal to 10. We have to subtract it. Okay, so subtract these two. So if you subtract, this will go away. Minus 20 minus 25 is minus 45I2, and here minus 50I3 is equal to minus 10. Correct? So this is equation number 5. Okay, now using this 4 and 5, we can solve for I2 and I3. Okay, so I'll erase the board. So you have 5 into I3, isn't it? Here you have 50. So I can multiply this equation by 10. Okay, so multiply equation number 4 into 10 times. So you will be getting minus 300 I2 minus 50 I3 is equal to minus 100. Am I correct? Yes. And fifth equation you write, and then you have to subtract these two. 45 I2 minus 50 I3 is equal to minus 10. So we have to subtract. So this will become plus, plus and plus. So this goes away. So you are getting minus 300 plus 45. Minus 300 plus 45 will be minus 255 is equal to 255 I2 is equal to minus 100 plus 10 is equal to minus 90. So therefore I2 will be 90 by 255 ampere. Now 90 by 255 you can do it in 5 table. Okay, so or 3 table also you can do. So 330 times, and here 25 will go in 3 table. 3 8s are 24. 85. Again 5 table 6 times, and this will go 117 times. Okay, so your answer is 6 by 17 ampere. Okay, I2 is equal to 6 by 17 ampere. So then you substitute for I2 in that fourth equation, you will be getting answer for I3. This equation. Okay, so minus 30 into 6 by 17 minus 5I3 is equal to minus 10. So this will be minus 180 by 17 minus 5I3 is equal to minus 10. Minus 5I3 is equal to minus 10 plus 180 by 17. So this will be equal to minus 170 plus 180. So that is 10. Correct. Minus 170 plus 180. So 10 by 17. 10 by 17, and here you have this. So 2 times, and you can see I3 is minus, negative. Okay, so if I3 is negative, that means the direction that we have chosen is opposite to what it will be flowing. Okay, yes, so I3 is negative, that means what? Let me erase. So I3 is equal to minus 2 by 17 ampere. Now negative value of the current means that the actual current is opposite, flowing in the opposite direction. So we had chosen that the current is flowing like this, but in reality the current is flowing in the opposite direction. That is why in Kirchhoff law you don't have to worry. Even if your direction is wrong, automatically you will get a negative value in the answer, so you can correct your direction. So instead of flowing from, what did we choose, A, B, C, D, that what was that? From B to D, the current will be flowing from, yes, instead of flowing from B to D, it will be flowing from D to B. That is the thing. Okay, so I3 current is minus 2 by 17. So what is the equation for I1? So now substitute I2 and I3 in I1. So the first equation, I have erased it, but it's there in the book. So 10 I1 minus 5 I2 plus 5 I3 equal to 0. So in this equation, you substitute for these two. So what will I get? 10 into I1 minus 5 into, so I'm taking minus 5 outside, okay, remember that. So, or let me take plus itself, no need to confuse. I2, what is I2? 6 by 17, and I3 is minus 2 by 17 equal to 0. Alright, so you can take this to the other side. So I'll get 8 by 17 into 5 is equal to 10 I1. So I1 is equal to 4 by 17 ampere. Alright, and what is I? I is equal to I1 plus I2. So the total current is this. So I1 plus I2. Where is I1, I2? 6 plus 4. So that is 10 by 17 ampere. So that is all this question. I hope you followed.